Our house was directly across the street from the entrance of a popular hospital in the city. We lived downstairs and rented the upstairs room to our patients at the clinic. One summer evening, as I was fixing supper, there was a knock at the door. I opened it to see a truly awful-looking man. Why, he's hardly taller than my 8-year-olds, I thought, as I stared at the stooped, shriveled body. But the appalling thing was his face, lopsided from swelling, raw and red. Yet his voice was pleasant as he said, "Good evening. I've come to see if you have a room for just one night. I came for treatment this morning from the Eastern Shore, and there's no bus till the morning." He told me he'd been hunting for a room since noon, but he had no success as no one seemed to have a room. I guess it's my face. I know, it looks terrible, but my doctor says with a few more treatments. For a moment I hesitated, but his next words convinced me. I could sleep in this rocking chair on the porch. My bus leaves early in the morning. I told him we would find a bed, but to rest on the porch. I went inside and finished getting supper. When we were ready, I asked the old man if he would join us. "No, thank you. I have plenty." And he held up a brown paper bag. When I finished the dishes, I went out to the porch to talk with him for a few minutes. It didn't take long to see that this old man had an oversized heart crowded into that tiny body. He told me he'd fished for a living to support his daughter, her 5 children, and her husband, who was hopelessly crippled from a back injury. He didn't tell it by the way of complaint. In fact, every other sentence was prefaced with a thanks to God for a blessing. He was so very grateful that no pain accompanied his disease, which was apparently a form of skin cancer. He thanked God for giving him the strength to keep going. At bedtime, we put a camp cot in the children's room for him. When I got up in the morning, the bed linens were neatly folded, and the little man was out on the porch. He refused breakfast, but just before he left for his bus, haltingly, as if asking a great favor, he said, "Could I please come back and stay the next time I have a treatment? I won't put you out of beds. I can sleep fine in the chair." He paused for a moment and then added, "Your children made me feel at home. Grown-ups are bothered by my face, but children don't seem to mind." I told him he was welcome to come again. On his next trip, he arrived a little after 7 in the morning. As a gift, he brought a big fish and a quart of the largest oysters I had ever seen. He said he had shucked them that morning before he left, so they'd be nice and fresh. I knew his bus left at 4 a.m., and I wondered what time he had to get up in order to do this for us. In the years he came to stay overnight with us, there was never time that he did not bring us a fish, or oysters, or vegetables from his garden. Other times we received packages in the mail, always by special delivery. Fish and oysters packed in a box of fresh young spinach or kale, every leaf carefully washed. Knowing that he must walk 3 miles to mail these, and knowing how little money he had made the gifts more precious. When I received these little remembrances, I often thought of a comment our next-door neighbor made after he had left the first morning. "Did you keep that awful-looking man last night?" I turned him away. You can lose roommates by putting up with such people. Maybe we did lose a room or two. But oh, if only they could have known him. Perhaps their illness would have been easier to bear. I know our family will always be grateful to have known him. From him, we learned what it is to accept the bad, without complaint, and the good with gratitude. Recently, I was visiting a friend who has a greenhouse. As she showed me her flowers, we came to the most beautiful one of all, a golden chrysanthemum, bursting with blooms. But to my great surprise, it was growing in an old dented rusty bucket. I thought to myself, if this were my plan, I'd put it in the loveliest container I had. My friend changed my mind. I ran short of pots, she explains. And knowing how beautiful this one would be, I thought I wouldn't mind starting out in this old pail. It's just for a little while, till I can put it out in the garden. She must have wondered why I laughed so delightedly, but I was imagining just such a scene in heaven. Here's an especially beautiful one. God might have said when he came to the soul of that sweet old fisherman, he won't mind starting out in this small body. You shouldn't judge people by their physical appearance. Ever. We didn't choose to come into the body we were born in. It's beyond our powers. It's simply out of our control. A person's essence and personality is what truly matters. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to see more from me.